So, Nandini, as you are aware, last week I was on a summit that you had also signed up to be, and it was amazing. We had over 50 people, from what I can see on myself, and they were featuring 9 presenters, of which I was one of the presenters, and it was part of a program that I was part of, and the program was about finding your niche. Knowing exactly what's your product, what's your service, what's your message, and then be laser focused on that message, product, whatever, your business. And once you've done that marketing part of figuring out who's my target market, what do I want for my business, who do I want to reach? Once you've done all of that part, then the next step, it's usually, many people get stuck right there. You're aware of that, right? So we got stuck because you're thinking, well, I'm doing this coaching and they're telling me, to post here and do a little newsletter there and a little bit, but that's not enough. And it's not enough because we are in our little group of people. So my community is my community and her community is her community. So when each of us start promoting within that community, you're reaching the same people over and over again. Eventually, you are going to exhaust your client list, whether they've already used your service, have tried it at some point, or because you're in the same program and you hear it so much, you kind of lose the momentum of wanting to do anything with it. So I always say, so you've published your book. Now what? What do you do with that book? You start a business. Now what? What are you doing with that business? Where are you going to take it? If you don't have a direct path to where you want to be, and that want to be could be anything from, I want to pack the world, or I just want financial freedom. I want time freedom. I want the money, I want the time, I want the comfort, I want the lifestyle, whatever that is. But you have to know what that is. If not, we're just going here in what we call the hamster wheel, just doing the same thing. So we literally we kind of lost our mojo with COVID. Before COVID, at least we would do a little bit of a little Google ad here or a Facebook boost there, and we'd pay for advertisement to get our word out. And then COVID came around, which was kind of a blessing in disguise anyway. We all went inside. So we are on our computer and we joined community after community after community, right? We've all been in all kind of communities. But now we're again coming outside of that. So the live events are starting again, the workshops, the conferences, they're restarting. We've missed the connection. And for me, especially since I started with the magazine, I've been pretty much every weekend out to some event. And the fun part was meeting the people that I've only seen online and spoken to an email, and it's like, here they are right here in front of me. And I'm so fortunate because 2 of them are right in here with me today. And we have Joe Petrusky. And what I want to say is Joe is one of the first visionaries in the spotlight in my first issue. And that's because we were talking back and forth for a while. We were in the same coaching program and we got to meet each other. And with asking questions and hearing his mission and his vision and the work he has been doing with what he has and his experiences and especially the background. And he was able to share with us in the magazine some very intimate, raw experiences that now has propelled him to want to reach more people and help in that category. So we're going to pan over right now to Joe so he could tell his story.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be in the magazine. And like you had said, that so many of us had gone into unwilling hiding because of COVID. And the magazine actually had gotten me in front of people that hadn't seen me for a while, or they had seen, the different posts about COVID. And this actually helped a lot because they got back into focus. And it was also some things that it's like, oh my God, I saw you on Facebook and I saw this and I saw this and I saw that. But I didn't know that you did readings. I didn't know that that was part of your healing. And so it was very helpful to be able to have this kind of format and then to be able to put it out there. And because of the fact that you have the huge picture of me and the story, it literally brought a lot of joy to the people. And people said, oh my God, you got a beard. And and it's like, yes I do. And so it was a really fun opportunity, and it was a nice additional method to be able to talk with people and to present with people. And having this extra resource on Facebook, having this extra resource on Instagram, and then being able to send it out to select people really made a difference. And so I appreciate it. And one of the things that came up is when I was talking with people is, what's your purpose? What is your purpose? And what is your message? And have you made your message, is it your mission? Because sometimes it's not your mission. But if it is your mission, what are you doing to get it out there? So this has really helped with that. Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. That was excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. As you could see, that picture they just showed was the first time Joe and I met in person. And we kind of freaked out, didn't we? But the best part was it almost felt like we were already friends, because we've been communicating for so long. Mm-hmm. And the crazy part is we don't even live that far away from each other. How crazy is that? Yeah. So in the meantime, of course, now that I've gotten to that position, that space, of course, I'm gonna take advantage as well. So Joe did come over and we had a first session, and session number 2 is still on the line. And it was, sometimes it's kind of hard to explain because each experience is different to each of us. And I'm sure you could get a little deeper into it, because my issues obviously is going to be something different to Nandini's and everyone else. So when you are working with someone, you are working with that person and the issue that they're in at that moment. What can you tell us about that?
Exactly. And so one of the gifts that Creator's given me is I can actually see the absolute best of who you are, your desires, your passion, and your purpose. And then I can also see the subconscious blocks that are stopping that. And the subconscious is this really kind of sinister little aspect, because it actually is stopping you from doing all the things that you were meant to do, the reason that you were born. And so we go through life events, and that subconscious mind is formed. And then we go through other life events that basically prove that horrible subconscious that stops us from being who we truly are. And so when I see a client, what I do is I remind them, and I start to speak about the absolute best aspects of them, because we were all born incredible miracles. God made us incredible miracles, and yet we go through life, sit down, shut up, and behave. And then what ended up happening is with COVID, sit down, cover up, shut up, go away. And so now what it is that's triggered so many horrible, deep, hurtful aspects of people. And so when I come in there and I pay attention to the best of them, all of a sudden that starts to percolate, and it's literally like the flowers coming out of the earth again to bring that up. And then if a person needs the body work, what I'll do is the body will call for that. And sometimes I do that, rarely I do. But when I do, it's very, very simple and very, very easy. And again, it brings out those hurts. It brings out those events that have stopped us from being who we are. Because in us, our body wants to be that magnificent aspect. Like Marianne Williamson talks about in Return to Love, our greatest fear isn't being insignificant. It's about our greatness. And she says it much more eloquent. But we get to live that greatness. And that's the part that I just absolutely love with the healing work and the coaching work.
So Joe, you just realize how much information you just put out for everyone, and how amazing that information is. Can you imagine if no one was here to hear it and listen and get to know who you are and be able to reach you, because maybe that's exactly what they need? So how else are you going to use this platform to get you out there? Because that's my mission, to get you guys on this platform where you're seen, heard, acknowledged, followed, where you become the expert in your field in this. How else can we make this work and get you to that next level as a small business owner?
Well, like the adage says, it takes at least 7 times, and now they're saying it's more for people to see you. And so what I'm going to do is repurpose this again. I put it out on Facebook and I put it on Instagram 2 or 3 times. But I'm going to do that again to be able to let people see this. And when they see the combination of the picture and the text, it's powerful. And so when I repurpose it like that, and then also there's a lot of people that with the emails that have not seen me regularly or had information from me. And so this is something that is just a, if you will, kind of an enjoyment piece and a pick-me-up piece. And so if I send that out in an email, it's giving them content of joy and purpose and happiness without any kind of selling. And so for them to be able to see that, it becomes a very useful aspect, very, very useful. And it's also when I share this, or Michelle's, when we were on and I shared Michelle's stuff, and then when I'm drawing a blank on the fella, when I saw his stuff and read his stuff and shared that, it was powerful. And I like to be able to shed good, positive things with people.
But Joe, what I'm thinking is that the fact that you are being interviewed by a third party, to my mind, that gives you a lot of credibility. You're being featured in a magazine, rather than simply putting a post on Facebook or doing a post on Instagram. I am thinking that when you are interviewed by somebody else, that person has done a bit of research into you and your work, and that gives you some credibility. Do you agree with that?
Oh, completely. Because if I make the post myself, it's like, okay, whatever. But like you said, when a trusted expert, and when you have the power of the Meta Lifestyle magazine, when you have that behind, okay, you guys then are interviewing me, people are like, oh, really? He made the magazine. And this is something where that means something again. Because there's so many people out there that self-publish and whatever, but when you have a magazine of your style, of all of your credentials, the fact that you had previous magazine success, huge success, and you choose to interview me, that's like, oh wow, cool, thank you. I'm definitely honored.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to my channel, Dr. Karina Felix, for more videos.